older at 29. They're both very tall for the weight class. Andrade 6'2", Mack 6'1". Arm length, the 3-inch advantage for Andrade, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weigh in right at the 168-pound limit, and tonight they have rehydrated up to 177 and 179, respectively. Harold Letterman rules of the bout.
Okay, Jim, the Librado Andrade Yusef Mack fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim!
Both fighters come in with only one defeat. Andrade's loss was to the celebrated Mikkel Kessler. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas, Golden Boy Promotions, in association with Top Rank, present this next contest. Sponsored by Tecates, Race with an Attitude, Rockstar Energy Drink, Party Like a Rockstar, and Southwest Airlines. Southwest, the symbol of freedom. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system: Max DeLuca, Dick Houck, and Patricia Mars-Jarman. And inside the ring, referee in charge of the action at the bell, Jay Nady. And now, on the line, the vacant USBA Championship, 12 rounds of boxing. This is in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver with black official weight, 168 pounds. Professional record, 23 victories, including 14 knockouts, only 1 defeat with 2 bouts even. From the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Yusef Mack Attack Mack. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, official weight also 168 pounds. Professional record, 25 victories, including 19 by knockout. Only 1 defeat. Damas y caballeros, de Jesus del Monte, Guanajuato, Mexico, the defending champion, Librado Andrade. Vacant title, vacant title.
You guys have any questions? Obey my glove, obey my commands, defend yourself at all times. Good luck, touch gloves, and let's go to work. Good luck.
Andrade fought 12 rounds with Kessler, absorbed a beating from the first bell to the last bell, and at the end was unmarked. Safe to say that Mack is not going to try to attack him with the purpose of knocking him out.
No, indeed, this promises to be the classic mashup of the pressure fighter Andrade against the clear counterpuncher Mack. And Mack was quite open in saying so at the pre-fight meeting yesterday. He said, hey, that's a big, strong guy who's going to come at me. My job is to counter and outbox him. Andrade's performance in getting through the Kessler fight was astonishing to ringside observers, Emmanuel, because of the number of solid punches with which Kessler hit him on the jaw.
And they were solid blows. So he said the hardest he'd ever been hit is when he ran accidentally into a post one time and hit his head. Say, but
doing road work.
Doing road work. But, you know, this fight has the makings of being a boring fight before it even started, because he said, for one thing, that he had problems in the past, meaning Andrade, with guys who had good footwork, who could move a little bit. He credited Kessler's the victory over him more with his footwork than the punches he landed.
Yeah, he said the post was surprised it didn't knock him out.
Right. and Mack has said that he definitely wants to fight a safe fight.
Nothing safe about that. What a sensational counter left hook, and Andrade had never been down. Mikkel Kessler couldn't do in 12 full rounds of hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink. But it's the punch you don't see coming that hurts you most.
Yeah, it looked like Mack stepped back and just winged that left hook. It's the kind that usually just stirs a breeze, but this one landed flush.
I don't think he was expecting it, because Mack's mindset seemed to have been more on defense, and he wasn't looking for anything. But he's leaving his head right up there, and who knows, maybe he got softened up by the punches he took from Kessler.
Mack said that his family members in Philadelphia call him Cadillac Mack. That left hook was a fully equipped Coupe de Ville. Mack seems to have no illusions, though. Goes back to creating space and using his footwork. But keeps throwing the left hook, too, wondering if lightning will strike twice in the same round.
But once Andrade gets warmed up, he still can. He won most of his fights by just wearing guys out. And if he doesn't get knocked out early, he's still going to be a big problem going down the stretch.
Thank you. Now box.
So don't be turned off by Emmanuel Stewart's reference to the possibility of a boring fight, because round one has been anything but.
Yeah.
Now Andrade seems to have his legs back under him and starts going to the pressure approach that he promised. Whatever vacant title Michael Buffer referred to in his opening introductions is of no particular import. Supremacy in this division will belong to the winner between Calzaghe and Kessler on November 3 in Wales. What a matchup that is. Joe Calzaghe's 43-0. Mikkel Kessler's 38-0 with 29 knockouts.
But this division can become a hot division with those two fighters, with Pavlik and Taylor eventually moving up. So if Mack can continue this attack, he can move in there.
Get the shots off. You're waiting just a little bit. Beautiful. You understand?
I ain't warmed up, baby.
All right.
Breathe.
Body, don't just lay there after you finish. Pull out.
Drop.
De acuerdo con la llave, bicicleta con la derecha, Pero aquí está encima de él, ¿ok? Dale campo para tirar.
You're too close up to him. Come on, give yourself some space so you can throw, but bring your hands up.
Okay.
Brings your hands up. And when you finish the combination, don't lean out there.
Salte. Salte.
Here you see Andrade pulling up, not seeing or expecting a left hook, get caught right, a beautiful left hook. One he didn't see at all.
That was remarkable because Andrade had his hands in good defensive position and dropped them as though to allow Mack to land the left hook.
It's just high enough to get above the gloves and land.
So it's a 10-8 round for Mack, although CompuBox numbers were 11-40 for Andrade and 15-42 for Mack. And so far, Mack's footwork has Andrade somewhat tied in knots, Emmanuel.
Yeah, but Andrade's going to step it up more and more and more, though. And, you know, he might be the type of guy that once he gets warmed up, he won't get hit as much, I'll tell you, he did with Kessler. But once he gets warmed up, it's hard to hurt him. And that happens with a lot of fighters. You can knock him out, catch him early.
Well, we saw somebody knocked down and almost out early a week ago.
Yep, and came right back.
You had a pretty good...
I was so upset that at the end of that second round, I could actually see Pavlik starting to come out of it. And when he came out the third round as if the second round never existed, I said, oh, man, we've got problems.
Two very strong-minded fighters, Jermaine Taylor and Kelly Pavlik, put on a tremendous show last week in Philadelphia. In case you missed it, Taylor was ahead by 3 points on 2 scorecards and 4 points on a fourth as they went to the 7th round, where Kelly Pavlik mounted a brilliant finishing assault and put Jermaine Taylor away.
In Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City.
Pavlik surprised me. First of all, he was a little faster than I expected. Punches was a lot more compact than it had been in his previous fights. But his determination was just tremendous at that. And that's what makes great fights, guys who have a lot of determination.
Which Andrade is showing right here.
He's showing exactly the kind of determination that Pavlik showed last week. Okay, so you knocked me down early, and you may have thought you almost had me out of there, but I'm still here to fight, and I'm going to fight you the way that I wanted to fight you. That was one thing about Pavlik last week against Taylor. You know, almost being gone in the second round didn't change his fight plan.
No, came right back as if nothing had happened. Now, this type
These guys are trading shots.
Andrade's going to win it if they keep fighting this way because he's prepared for this.
I think they heard you say it was going to be a boring fight.
Yeah, they did.
Suddenly, Mack seems unable to get away from Andrade's pressure. Now, Jay Nady quite properly warning Librado Andrade after a clear low blow.
Mack started to back it away, but after he got that knockdown, he decided to fight more.
Mack turns into a southpaw stance, but doesn't look to me like a competent left-hand puncher out of the southpaw stance.
No.
Well, and you wonder if Mack can fight this kind of close quarters, hard-fought fight when he's been a counterpuncher most of his career.
Well, I can tell you what, the fight is much closer than he would like for it to be in terms of physically. And in this way here, it's going to be hard for him to go the whole fight at this pace.
Looks to me as though what Yusef Mack needs to try to do is come out in one of these rounds and establish a jab and create a little space between himself and Librado Andrade.
That's what I expected.
Easier said than done, I guess.
You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. Very nice. Every time you throw the hook, or he throws the hook, bring up the right. Bring it up. You bring it to the body. If you're up here, then down. You understand?
Don't move. Let him come and get you. Get some shots off now. Let's go. You should be warm. How do you feel? Good. Let's get rocking now. Let's get some shots off underneath body on.
CompuBox numbers in round 2, and that was Librado Andrade's kind of round. 27 out of 95, 28%, including 24 of 78 power shots. And Yusef Mack, 14 out of 41. Only able to get off 41 punches in the round because he was trying to deal with the constant coming pressure of Librado Andrade. Mack's job is to try to establish a jab, but he continues to throw power punches, inviting Andrade to eat up the space between them.
Andrade leaves himself so open that Mack just can't resist the temptation to try to nail him with hard punches.
Oh, beautiful wobbled him with the right hand there.
Yeah, beautiful right hand.
But Andrade was wobbled only momentarily and now comes back with a flurry of his own.
Stop! Watch your head.
Now Jay Nady wants Andrade to watch his head for headbutts. So he's been warned for low blows, he's been warned for headbutts. Not sure there's much of any warning that would change the way he fights. And it's going to take an act of will for Mack to step back and try to establish the kind of fight that he wants.
Yeah, he's not boxing.
It isn't happening.
Now, all of the tapes that I saw in the past, he was a nice counterpuncher. He moved back, and I thought that's what he was going to do. But he failed. Going to swing that knockdown is what pulled him into the fight then. And then he's been fighting since then. Andrade is doing just what he wants to do.
Isn't that interesting? We show the highlights of Barrera-Pacquiao 1 in San Antonio 4 years ago. It demonstrates that maybe Barrera was
can you believe this?
Jay Nady
won it again, the same guy, Andrade.
This time
even though Mack was holding.
And in the first Barrera-Pacquiao fight, it appeared that Barrera was given a false sense of security by knocking Pacquiao down in the first round. Did Mack get a false sense of security by knocking Andrade down in the first round of this fight?
Yes, and he's got drawn into fighting instead of boxing and using his defensive skills and not using any jab at all to create a distance.
There's just no way Yusef Mack is going to win this kind of a fight. Unless Andrade gets disqualified, it's not going to happen.
He just forgot the kind of fighter that he is.
He's not being hit. He's not being hit clean, but it's after a while, physically he's going to be drained. Something is going to land sooner or later.
Plus, he's not getting a chance to throw anything meaningful. There he lands a right cross and another big right cross. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he gets lucky and knocks Andrade out.
Or himself.
It's a Pier 6 brawl. Jimmy Glenn and Tommy Gallagher, experienced people coming into the ring in
with that rhythm.
Mack's
You're
corner.
laying in there.
Okay?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay with the rhythm now. Come on, let's go. You catch, tie him up. Don't catch. Yusef.
When you finish the combination, get down because he's going to throw the hook.
Yeah.
Get down, and then move off to the left. Come on, at the body.
Here you see Mack lands a tremendous right hand over here, straight over the gloves, hurts him, still punching, but after a while, here comes Andrade back. Just a volume of punches, nothing clean and effective, but steadily punching and pushing him forward and pushing as he's going, he's pushing back, using his weight, making him lose his balance.
Emmanuel, CompuBox counted Andrade throwing 136 punches in the round. And this despite the fact that he had to stop twice to be warned by Jay Nady for various transgressions against the rules.
And he's going to do that regardless.
Andrade fought 16 amateur fights, lost 13 of them. Went to work for Jack in the Box for 10 years, just fighting to earn a few bucks. And here he is.
Trying to make Mack a Jack in his box. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 2 rounds to 1 in favor of Librado Andrade, but the important points category, 28-28, because Yusef Mack gets an extra point in round 1 for the clean knockdown. Boy, I got to tell you, these guys are absolutely landing sledgehammers, you know. Unbelievable right hands by Andrade, unbelievable both hands. Right hands by Andrade and right hands by Yusef Mack. Tremendous punching, 2 rounds to 1 Andrade. Jim, I got a comment. It's a little bit overregulated. Jay Nady's a great referee, but those shots on the waistband just ain't low.
So here's the thing, Larry, about your great point. Andrade losing 13 of his 16 amateur fights. How many times will something like this happen? He volunteered that information in the fighter meeting.
I think he's proud of it.
And they said mainly because the guys boxing using amateur style, he couldn't keep up with it. And this is exactly what I thought Mack was going to do, was take advantage of his weakness for boxers. But instead, Mack is making it a fight.
Yeah, this is the Philadelphia coming out of Mack.
Yep.
And right now it's doing pretty well.
Yep, he lands 3 straight big right hands. Guys in Andrade's corner told him, said, look, after you land a combination, duck, because he's coming back with a big punch. It's going to be hard to get him to duck. And incidentally, one difference that may pile up in the fight over a period of time, Mack's landing all of his big shots upstairs. He'll occasionally try to mix in a body shot, but it's Andrade who's landing heavy stuff to the body.
Andrade reminds me a little of Margarito, the welterweight. Just keeps coming and coming and coming.
And you know, he's so easy to hit. I can see why Mack decides to punch rather than try to box. He's so easy to hit.
Well, there's a low blow by Mack. Jay Nady has to talk to him about that. So now both fighters have been warned for low blows.
And neither fighter seems to have a mark on them.
And just a little earlier this evening, as these fighters were preparing to come into the ring, Larry Merchant went backstage to talk to Manny Pacquiao.
Manny, do you expect to see a different Barrera in front of you this time than you did 4 years ago?
Well, I speak him that he's in 100% condition right and tonight, and I speak him that he do his best to win this fight, and you know he's still good. He's still a good fighter, and he's still strong.
You expect him to try to box you more?
That's what I thought. But let's see. We will see in the ring.
How are you different as a fighter today than you were then?
Well, I think I got more experience than before, than the first fight.
You expect the same result?
I don't know, but I just do my best to give a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
CompuBox numbers in round 4. Andrade 25 out of 86, Mack 22 out of 52. Harold Letterman saw Mack winning the round, probably because of the 3 violent right hands in a row that Mack landed in the middle of the round. There's a big left hook by Mack, who has dispensed with his counter-punching boxing style and decided to fight fire with fire and trade pressure with Librado Andrade, thereby avoiding the boring fight that Emmanuel Stewart momentarily anticipated.
You're not going to let me live that down, I can see.
I don't know, I think that's the last time we'll have fun with it, but it is amusing in light of what ultimately happened here.
Well,
they must have heard me.
The thought is that Mack could control the pace, but Andrade has dictated the pace.
I guess Andrade is just so easy to hit that Mack he can't help it. He's got to hit it because he's so easy to hit.
Right.
Yeah.
He makes the same mistakes over and over as though he enjoys it.
You know, watching Andrade's professional style and the fact that he is that easy to hit, and knowing how amateur boxing is scored, maybe the surprise is that he actually did win 3 of the 16 fights. How did that happen? Maybe that's why he started off by saying I couldn't win any of them.
He's really laying that little right-hand leader here. It's very good. After each break, he has a little bounce up and down, a little jig he'll do, and then he shoots that right-hand lead right off the bat. You know, the accumulation of all those right hands on the side of the head, the back of the head, eventually they wear you out.
Now, this is a fight that has the look of the last 4 or 5 rounds are going to determine it, to see who is in better condition to take this kind of punishment.
Now watch your head.
Being a shift manager at Jack in the Box must be brutal. if Andrade thought this was a better way to make a living.
For 11 years he was doing that.
Well, we've had...
Oh, my gosh. Here comes Mack again. Like hitting a wall. Mack doing a good job of making Andrade miss with those lunging big shots there, but sooner or later, something's going to make contact. Good uppercut by Mack, good uppercut by Andrade.
You know, Mack is rolling his shoulders on most of those right hands, but as the fight goes on, he gets tired. He may misjudge and start to get hit with more of them.
You know, counting the 2 fights of last week and the 2 fights so far this week, I don't think we've had an easy round yet.
Let's try to get you. We're hitting him on the head. He's not going nowhere, right? You got to turn the punches on up to the chin, then drop down to the side. All right? Now come on, let's go. You're in this. I see you waiting. You're tying them up. You're waiting. You're not punching. You're waiting for the shot. As soon as he opens and gives you the shot, you let them go.
We're doing good. Everything's good. 2 jabs on the right. 2 jabs on the right. Come on, 2 jabs on the right. Put in the hook and then double it. Double the hook.
Here you can see Mack landing punches so clean and so effective. That's why he doesn't want to get back in box, because it's such an easy target. Most of those punches are landing with full force too.
Average per round through 5, according to CompuBox. Andrade 30 of 91, 33%. Mack 21 of 47, 45%. Can Mack win the fight throwing that many fewer punches than Andrade? Well, he got a huge leg up toward it by knocking Andrade down in the first round. That's the only knockdown so far. Andrade has been warned for low blows, for holding and hitting, and for using his head. Mack has been warned for low blows.
Mack can make an easy fight out of this, it appears, when he's doing this.
And he keeps the distance and stays back and makes Andrade lose his balance.
This was supposed to be the plan. Stay back, work behind the jab, and counter.
And you better watch Andrade's right hand, steady. He shoots it right, very fast right hand. But one thing I give Mack credit for, he has a good habit of rolling right hands.
No. Put his head down.
Again, Mikkel Kessler has 29 knockouts in 38 fights and is regarded as a big puncher. He could not put Andrade on the canvas. Mack put him down with a left hook out of the blue in the first round.
Mack's got a pretty good beard, too, because he's taken some good shots.
23 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws coming in for Yusef Mack.
If Mack would keep the fight at that distance like that, jab and just counterpunch with clean hooks and let that Andrade come in and get off balance, he'd win this fight very easy. And maybe even score a knockout possible. Because Andrade wouldn't see the punch as he's coming in.
The nadir of Mack's career was getting TKO'd in 2006 by Alejandro Barrio. Then he came back this year in New York, scored a win over Jose Vasquez in a card at Cipriani's that was promoted by Tommy Gallagher, and Gallagher decided that he saw something there, hooked Mack up with a New York trainer, and now he, Gallagher, is the fighter, or a New York manager, I should say, and now he, Gallagher, is the trainer of the fighter.
Yeah, but I see they brought in the famous Jimmy Glenn came in as a cut man fight.
And Jimmy often whispers in the corner or in the gym and provides an excellent additional voice along with the trainer.
Yes, Jimmy is like a New York fixture in boxing. And his restaurant.
And a grandfather figure to many fighters, and has the best boxing bar in New York. Jimmy's corner.
Come on, you're bringing down your hands. Bring them up, bring them up. Come on, don't go straight back. Don't pull out straight back. Move off to the side. You're doing good. You're on the inside, you work it.
He's just waiting out for that. Now work, use your legs a little and use your jab. Let's go. How do you feel? Come on, bro. Come on.
Right here you see a beautiful left uppercut coming from Mack. Right up between the gloves. No body movement to avoid.
Mack is still a member of a construction union in Philadelphia. The way he's fighting tonight, I don't think he has going back to construction in mind anytime soon.
Andrade may be tiring. In round 5, or round 6, I should say, he only threw 57 punches. And that's his lowest total since the first round. Now, remember, at one point, Andrade's punch output climbed as high as 136. If you're that inconsistent, you throw 136 in one round and 40 or 50 in another round, it indicates that your motor doesn't run all the time. But now Andrade's motor starts to run again, and Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, I got it 3 rounds apiece, but 57-56, Yusef Mack because of that extra point in round 1. Since round 3, this fight's been going back and forth. In other words, Mack wins around, Andrade wins around, Mack wins around, Andrade wins around. Yusef Mack winning the rounds he's winning because he's led to that sledgehammer right hand, and Librado Andrade winning his round because he outworks him. 3-3, but Yusef Mack by 1 point.
I was talking about Mack's brand new corner. This is really their first fight together. Again, the trainer's Tommy Gallagher. You may remember him from his past involvement in the Contender Series. Jimmy Glenn, the venerable cut man and chief second, and Sam Davis is also in that corner. The new manager is a New Yorker named Rory Donavio. And we mentioned Jimmy Glenn's bar. Let's go ahead and finish up with that. If you're in the city and you want to talk boxing, go to West 44th to Jimmy's Corner and grab yourself a beer. Feel good that the money you pay for it is probably going to wind up in the pocket of some down-on-his-luck fighter at some point.
Yeah, Jim is a beautiful man for that. You know, this fight has really turned out to be a very good fight.
Mack takes a knee.
I was just about to say
no clinches at all.
That attrition was starting to spend him as he took a knee.
That was sheer exhaustion. Andrade wasn't landing anything big. But now he realizes the situation in which he has Mack. This is just the product of fighting the wrong fight.
Yeah, if he'd have fought at a distance, I think he could have possibly beaten Andrade.
Well, remember, we talked earlier, is he really capable of fighting a fight at this pace, given how he has always fought before?
And we're getting the answer. And his knee touches the canvas a third time, and that's that. Librado Andrade with a stunning, sudden 7th round knockout victory over Yusef Mack, who just visibly, graphically ran out of gas.
Good fight, though.
He saw early on that he hurt Andrade, and he felt he could do it again. But along about a few rounds later, he should have realized that he had to go back to what his natural style is. And at that time, either he was too tired or he just didn't feel it.
Yeah, he got too engaged into fighting, and he just couldn't switch back. You're right, Larry. That was his downfall, the fact that he hurt him that first time.
Fool's gold. Classic case of fool's gold. And Andrade closed the show, landing 36 out of 66 power shots down the stretch. Emmanuel, take us through it. Knockdown number 1.
Well, it was just accumulation of punches. And all those punches were short punches. Even though Andrade is a gangly guy, he was very smart. Once he got him hurt, punches were very short. He didn't shoot anything wide. It was just too much for him.
Mack voluntarily taking the knee there. We'll take another look at the action that led to it. But look at the look on Mack's face. He's not being hit.
No, it's just too much of everything. And he didn't try to clinch.
Now here's the second knockdown, seconds later. This time a left on the top of the head helped to encourage Mack to go to the canvas, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I thought that Mack fought a good fight. He showed a lot of his lack of experience. And, you know, every fighter goes into a fight trying to make the fight be in his particular pattern. In this case, he got wrapped up in Andrade's fight. If he had fought like I expected, fighting a technical fight, I think he could have won the fight. Landing punches in spots.
But give Andrade credit for applying the pressure and making him fight his fight, being the tougher man.
That's all we're doing is give Andrade credit.
That was a tough man contest, and Andrade won it. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jay Nady steps in, calls a halt to the contest. The official time, 2 minutes, 34 seconds, round number 7. The winner by TKO victory, and now the new USBA super middleweight champion, Librado Andrade.